Game one of the College World Series final is in the books as Oklahoma takes down North Carolina by a score of 9-3 and are one win away from their third national championship in program history. The Sooners remain undefeated in Omaha and are now on a 9-game win streak dating back to their regional, and they just continue to dominate in every facet of the game, which is what they did against North Carolina on Saturday. Both of the starting pitchers in this game were coming off of very strong starts in their opening matchup. I was expecting somewhat of a pitcher's duel early, but that just wasn't the case. Oklahoma started the scoring in the first on a two-run home run off the bat of Dayton LaChance, his first of two in this game. Given that LaChance's World Series run was almost over in the very first inning of the very first game for Oklahoma against Alabama after he injured his ankle, what he has provided since then has just been astounding, and Oklahoma just wouldn't be where they are right now without him. In the bottom of the first, the concerns I had about Oklahoma's pitching staff were made very apparent pretty early on as North Carolina's first four batters hit safely. Jake Schaffner single, Owen Hall double, Gavin Gallagher single, scored two to tie the game, and then Eric Paulson almost went yard, came through with a double to put North Carolina up 3-2, the only time in this game that they would lead. Although Hull and Gallagher were pretty quiet the rest of the way, they do extend their hitting streaks within the tournament to 10 games. They've hit safely in every single game, and between the two of them, they have now combined for 36 hits in North Carolina's 10 tournament games. The two of them together are hitting well over 450 right now. They've just been the most dynamic 1-2 punch in the tournament, and North Carolina's fate the rest of the way is definitely going to rely heavily on how much more they can hit. So North Carolina, they ambush Cord Rager for 3 runs. My concern about Oklahoma's starting rotation coming into this was the inexperience of their starting rotation. You got 3 freshmen slated to throw in the 3 games. Cord Rager comes out. His stuff doesn't look as sharp as it did against Alabama. And North Carolina's offense is a very disciplined group. They'll force you to throw into the strike zone. Rager had to rely heavily on his fastball early. He didn't really have any feel for his breaking stuff, had a hard time locating it. And when he was throwing that fastball in the zone, North Carolina was hammering it. So I thought it was going to be a fairly early hook for Rager. He manages to escape that first inning, but then he kind of settles in. The third inning rolls around. Dayton LaChance comes up for his second at-bat. With 2 strikes, one of the more impressive swings I've seen in Omaha thus far. He goes above the strike zone to get a Jason DeCarlo fastball, hits a moonshot over the left field wall for his second of the game, third of the tournament, 18th on the year, which leads the Sooners offense, and most importantly, tied the game at 3. But outside of LaChance tagging DeCarlo for 2 home runs, DeCarlo did look pretty good in this start up until the 4th inning. He had 5 strikeouts through 3 innings, but then the 4th inning was really when Oklahoma broke through. The Sooners put runners on second and third with 1 out. DeCarlo manages to strike out Dayton Taki, his 6th strikeout of the day. But then with 2 outs, that's where the Sooners really went to work. What happened next really encapsulated what this entire tournament run has looked like for Oklahoma. Kyle Branch comes up to the plate, is hitless in Omaha to this point, doesn't have a hit in his 11 at-bats. He's down 2 strikes to Jason DeCarlo, and he hammers a single up the middle, put 2 more runs on the board, give Oklahoma the lead. And then from there, he had a Jason Walk base hit that Jake Schaffner mishandled at shortstop. Camden Johnson came through with a single to drive in another. So Jason DeCarlo and North Carolina were 1 strike away from escaping the 4th inning, with the game still tied. But just 3 batters later, Oklahoma is up 4 runs, showing no signs of slowing down. That is just what this offense has done throughout this entire run. And this is why I don't really see any pitching staff silencing these bats at the moment, regardless of how good North Carolina's staff is. This is why I took Oklahoma to win this series in 3 games. And even though it was all about the offense in this one for Oklahoma, the pitching, which has been a very underrated piece to the puzzle here for the Sooners, they came through with 8 scoreless innings following that 3-run first inning for North Carolina. Cord Rager finishes with 5 innings just to 3 earned runs. Gavin Jones and LJ Mercurius cover the final 4 innings. They only give up 2 hits and 2 walks between the two of them, strike out 6. As for North Carolina's bullpen, you're still in a decent spot. Walker McDuffie does have to come in for 2 1/3. He came in halfway through that 4th inning to try to keep North Carolina's offense close. The good news for North Carolina is you don't have to use Caden Glauber, you don't have to use Jackson Rose, so both of them are fresh for Game 2. You got Ryan Lynch going as your starter on the mound if you're North Carolina, so you've got your A staff going in Game 2. And I still have my concerns about the inexperience of Oklahoma's starting rotation. You got Xander Mercurius going for Oklahoma. I think there's definitely a world in which North Carolina's bats get hot in Game 2 against Mercurius. And then if your A staff can do just enough to cool down these Oklahoma bats, I think you set yourself up pretty nicely for a game three. And that's why I predicted this series to go 3 games, because regardless of the fact that Oklahoma is as hot as anybody, I still think that this series is as evenly matched as they come. So will Oklahoma close it out on Sunday afternoon, or will North Carolina force a game three? We will find out Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward to it.